Warning: this article contains spoilers for Love is Blind Season 4 Episodes 12. Micah Lucier and Paul Peden were one of the 4 Love is Blind Season 4 couples who made it to the finale, though Paul was the only cast member who said no at the altar. While Micah appeared devastated by Paul's decision and lashed out at him for not being ready to marry her, she also pushed him away throughout the season. Overall, it was not surprising that Paul said no to the season villain, even though Micah insisted in the finale that she would have married him if he said yes first. Micah and Paul were the second couple to become engaged in Love is Blind Season 4, though he was not the first person who caught her interest. Micah and Kwame Appiah connected early on, which led to Kwame asking if he could propose to Micah on day 6. Though Micah first demanded that Kwame was all in for her, she ended up leaving him for Paul. Paul and Micah survived the Mexico trip and took their intimacy to the next level when they moved in together. They then became attached at the hip, though they never seemed certain about each other. However, Micah made sure to interject subtle digs along the way. 7 Micah discredited Paul's feelings for Amber. Micah first became classified as a mean girl for the way she acted in the pods alongside fellow cast member Irina Solomonova. Micah demanded attention from both Paul and Kwame and asked them to focus only on her, even though she was unsure. Micah quickly dumped Kwame for Paul and expected the same brisk attitude from Paul. When an emotional Paul took his time in breaking up with Amber Wilder, Micah became angry since she didn't understand his connection. She was then satisfied to see Amber heartbroken and even had Irina spy on her. It was clear early on Micah was only looking out for herself and her happiness. 6 Micah flirted with Kwame despite being with Paul, while Micah chose Paul on Love is Blind. That didn't hold her back from becoming flirty with Kwame in Mexico. Seeing Kwame, "I think he's super handsome, and he's just as wonderful as I imagined," she gushed. Micah even joked about Kwame wanting to propose to her, which led to an intimate conversation between them that made Kwame's partner Chelsea Griffin uncomfortable. While Micah was all over Kwame when she met him for the first time, Paul respected Micah and said, "It's definitely not worth it at this point," when he saw Amber for the first time in episode 8. 5 Micah tried to control change Paul. Micah made it clear that she wanted to change many aspects of Paul so he could fit into her life. She insulted his apartment and style and even mocked and ridiculed things about him. Micah appeared to view Paul as a project who needed her help to meet her high aesthetic standards, though environmental scientist Paul seemed happy with his life. Micah then voiced they should split their time between her place in Scottsdale, Arizona, and her place in Seattle, cutting Paul's apartment out of the mix. Micah seemed unhappy when Paul didn't agree to her plans, as she appeared to have her sights set on running the relationship. 4 Micah talked behind Paul's back to Kwame. In addition to flirting with Kwame in Mexico, Micah once again gravitated toward him at Chelsea's birthday party. While Paul stayed his respectful distance from Amber, Micah used the chance to voice her concerns about Paul to Kwame while also praising Kwame. "I feel like I'm very unsure," Micah admitted about her relationship with Paul and whether she made the right choice. "There's so much electricity," Micah admitted about Kwame. "I care about you. I think about you. I worry about you," she revealed to Kwame while Paul was at the same party as Kwame's fiancée. 3 Micah let her friends disrespect Paul. Micah demonstrated multiple times that she cared about her needs and wants the most. That's why it came as a surprise that she didn't stand up for Paul when her friends disrespected him. Micah's best friend Shelby became territorial and aggressive when Micah introduced her partner to her friends, as Shelby made it clear that she didn't think Paul was good enough for Micah. An intoxicated Micah failed to stand up for her partner and, instead, let her friends badmouth her future husband. Micah and her friends appeared to view Micah as superior to Paul, an attitude that Micah carried with her until the wedding day. Micah thought she was better than Paul. Micah made her elitist feelings known on the day of her wedding as she spoke poorly about Paul, the man she wanted to marry. "I'm more manicured," Micah says before adding, "I elevate him." She also clarified how much she helped Paul with his style, as though that made her better than him. Micah still appeared to view Paul as a project and spoke of the ways she made his life better materially. In contrast, Love is Blind Season 4 couple Tiffany Pennywell and Brett Brown revealed that their love inspired them to be better people. One Micah refused to be honest about her feelings. Micah let Paul down by not being honest about her feelings. She had the opportunity to reveal her love for him, as she was asked first if she would marry Paul. However, Micah deflected the question rather than having a genuine and vulnerable moment. She appeared more concerned with her reputation and image than she did with being open. "I think that in this moment, the best thing that I can do for us is to give you the opportunity to answer first," Micah announced. "I love you, but I don't think that we can choose each other right now. I think that we're not there," Paul said in return. Micah was furious with Paul, as she said that she wanted to feel 100% chosen. However, she neglected to see that she didn't make Paul feel chosen by refusing to answer the question. Paul told Micah that he loved her, though he admitted later that the love didn't seem to always be reciprocated on her end. There's also the chance that Paul would have said yes if Micah said yes, though her answer threw him. "Did I make the wrong choice? I love you so much," he said to a tearful Micah afterward. Overall, Micah's actions in Love is Blind Season 4 clarify why she was the only cast member left at the altar.